All right. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Pete, and if you didn't already know that, well, now you do, because this is Paid to Drive. That's right. Welcome to the PTD Power Half Hour. If you're watching on the replay, you might want to leave a comment saying hashtag with Team Replay. And, you know, guys, you guys know the deal at this point. You might want to skip a minute or two in to skip the intro. But for everybody else, all right. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Pete, but you probably already knew that. But in case you didn't, you guys are watching the one, the only Paid to Drive, one of the only channels on YouTube trying to put a little bit more of that money back in your pocket. That's right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your day, this wonderful Wednesday. Welcome to the PTD Power Half Hour. We are glad to have you every night at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Pacific. Set your phone alarms, folks. Don't ever rely on these darn notifications because they never work. And here's going to be the deal tonight, guys. We are talking about AB5, the Assembly Bill 5. It has been signed by the governor of California. It is being put into action, and we need to know how it's going to impact us. So we have another special treat for you tonight. We have an incredible article from Entre Courier, which predicted a lot of this. This is an older article, but what he's saying holds a lot of water. Also, on top of that, we will be hearing from Mr. Alan Christensen. Alan, if you're here in the chat, please say hello. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax, and if you're home, if you're home at least, if you're out there driving, please be careful. Actually, who's out there still working? If you're still working, comment, I'm still working. If you're home, comment home. And also, guys, here's the deal. This is the PTD Power Half Hour. I was 2 minutes late to getting on here, so you guys are already getting an additional plus 2 minutes, sort of, anyway, because I messed you guys up in the beginning. But if you would like me to go for an additional plus 5, you guys know what to do. Smash that like down below. If we can get to 50 likes by the end of this stream, we will go for an additional plus 5. So comment 111 if you smash the like, 222 if you haven't yet. What's up, everybody? So, let's see here. Let us get going. All right. Everybody smash that like. Heidi Barnes, thank you very, very much. That's our first super chat donation of the evening, or at least for this stream. Everyone, please say thank you to Heidi Barnes for her generosity. Heidi is already a PTD Mod Squad member, so if you are a PTD Mod Squad member, let everybody know in the chat. Comment hashtag PTD Mod Squad if you have a blue wrench next to your name. DFW food delivered weeknights aren't worth the hustle. It depends on what time of year, DFW for sure, and definitely which service you're using or what platform. So this is the article linked down below from Entre Courier explaining about how AB5 will impact us. So definitely hear this one out. And all my moderators, please keep letting everyone know the goal of 50 likes so that we can go for an additional 5 minutes, guys. Be careful, Lynetta, while you're out there driving. So, Entre Courier says AB5, California's gig economy legislation, could completely change the landscape for delivery contractors in California, with a possible ripple effect nationwide. The legislation has already passed the state assembly and is expected to pass into law, which, when this was posted back in June, this is an older article, but it still makes sense about what's going on now. He basically predicted this, because it just signed today. If signed into law in its current state, most gig economy workers would be classified as employees in the state of California. This could have major repercussions across the country, as most of the major delivery companies are based in California. That's where, if I'm at a company right now where you need to be in a wait-and-see position because we don't really know what things are going to look like. The legislation is based on last year's California Supreme Court Dynamics decision defining more who could be classified as an employee. It establishes an ABC test in which a position needs to meet all 3 of the following tests to qualify as an independent contractor. Number 1, the worker is free of control from the employer both in contract and in action. The employer cannot control schedule or method of doing the work. Number 2, the worker is doing work that is outside of the employer's usual business. Number 3, the work being done involves work normally performed by a business or established trade. So how is this different from past interpretations? There are a couple of things that are significant about the ABC test that are very different than past interpretations. Much of the federal government uses a 10-point test where they weigh each of the factors. The use of this test is subjective, and a company can cross the line in some areas, but if those areas do not outweigh other factors, as in the case of National Labor Relations Board decision on Uber earlier this year, they can still rule that a worker is an independent contractor. The California legislation narrows the decision down to 3 specific tests, and every single test must be met for a worker to be qualified as an independent contractor. So how would these tests impact the delivery industry? I can imagine that if this becomes a law in California, and I'm going to pause for a second, which, like I mentioned earlier, it has as of today, the delivery companies would insist that they meet all 3 laws and that it ultimately would come down to a court challenge. Keep in mind that this is only California law. This legislation does not have any jurisdiction outside of the state. However, with many gig companies headquartered in California, if California does force them to classify delivery workers as drivers, those companies may make the decision themselves on a nationwide basis. Do the delivery companies meet these tests? Do delivery companies control your work? This is the one area where they are most likely to meet the test. In the National Labor Relations Board decision on Uber, the freedom provided that Uber allowed their drivers in when and where to work was significant enough that the lack of company control was considered to outweigh what they considered more minor violations. I wrote here that from my observations, Uber was very careful not to cross the lines. In contract, none of the companies really exert control. I would say that of the companies I know the most about, GrubHub is the most at risk due to recent efforts at cracking down on cherry picking. While their contract does not allow for company control, their practice could be demonstrated to do otherwise, and the timing of their actions could work against them. Are delivery workers performing work that is different than the company that contracts them? This is going to be the tough one for most of these companies. They claim that they are not actual delivery companies, but software companies. In the truest form of gig economy work, you could make a case that all they're doing is connecting diners with contractors to make the delivery. However, the very fact that the fees paid to the drivers are not tied to the delivery fees paid by the restaurants will make this one a difficult test to prove. GrubHub may have the best opportunity here, as my understanding is they were initially not interested in providing delivery. Excuse me. That their model was to provide lead generation for restaurants, and that they provided delivery services as a means for restaurants to ramp up to where they could do their own delivery. However, recent national contracts with chains that have no intention of ever providing delivery, or even with pizza places that already have their own delivery service, might work against them here. This section would all boil down to whether or not the courts can be convinced that these delivery companies are not actually delivery companies. So let me pause for a moment. What do we got going on in the chat over here? So far, so good, with what Entre Courier is saying. It's very, very accurate, on-point stuff here. And guys, we are going right now for 50, we're going for 100 likes total on this video. We've only got 19, but if you guys want me to go for an additional 5 minutes, definitely smash the like button down below. Comment 111 if you smashed the like, 222 if you haven't yet. And guys, if you are a delivery driver for GrubHub, UberEATS, Postmates, DoorDash, Caviar, Instacart, Amazon Flex, Deliv, E24, Seamless, or any of the others, you should absolutely, positively be subscribed to this channel, Paid to Drive, with that little post notification bell turned on. Please comment 777 in the chat if you've already done this. Comment 888 if you haven't yet. And also, guys, please make sure you are all subscribed to my second channel, the Paid to Drive Vlogs, aka the PTD Vlogs. Okay, comment 999 if you are subscribed there, 101010 if you're not yet. Links in the description, or just do a YouTube search for Paid to Drive Vlogs or PTD Vlogs. All right, guys. So let's see if we can get those likes up there. If we get 50, we're going for an additional 5 minutes. So definitely smash that like, everybody. Okay, let's get back to this. And then we're going to get on to Alan Christensen. Let's see. Are delivery contractors in their own business in an area where that's normally what people do? This test comes from the idea of what the original idea of a contractor was. If you are a sales company and needed an accountant to look over your books, well, that makes sense that the accountant would be a contractor, not an employee. Where the abuse started happening was when computer programmers were hired by companies who traditionally hired programmers as employees, but were now being called contractors. In fact, the tech industry will probably have greater repercussions from this law than the gig economy. This one is a gray area. It can be argued that there have always been delivery companies. However, the fact that most drivers who sign on had no intention of doing so as a business or had never been in a business before could make a difference. So what would delivery work look like in California if drivers are classified as employees? California is probably the last state that the delivery companies would want to rule as an employee. According to this chart from the Department of Labor, minimum wage is $12 per hour in California, and tips cannot go against that wage. California employers are also required to fully reimburse vehicle expenses. There is some leeway, and it's possible that reimbursement can be set amount per mile that is different than the IRS standard, currently 58.5 cents per mile. However, if someone can document that their actual expenses are more than what is being reimbursed, they have the right to demand that reimbursement. So what this means is that an employee, a driver, would receive $12 at minimum, plus tips, plus reimbursement for miles and possibly for cell phone, though I would imagine that companies would provide cell phones instead. That seems like a pretty sweet deal compared to what drivers are getting now. Employers have to pay half of your Social Security, which is why our self-employment taxes are so high. We have to pay both halves and provide workers' comp, unemployment insurance, sick leave, and more than likely benefits like health insurance. The expense would be so great that companies would just determine that it's not profitable and shut down operations in California. If they do continue to go forward, you can expect a few changes. Full-time work will probably go away. You can almost guarantee that you won't see them more than 40 hours a week. Companies will be able to tell you when and where to work. You'll have to accept all orders, and you will lose the freedoms you have come to expect. For many, that's probably not a bad trade-off. There could be good and bad from the customer viewpoint. You can expect efficient dispatching to become a priority now that companies have to pay for time and mileage. The 20-mile offers will probably dry up. Companies may shorten the distance radius from a restaurant or charge more for longer distance deliveries, and you can expect a lot more stacked orders, which may mean deliveries will take longer. How will this impact other states? Other states all have their own definitions of what makes an employee. The California decision could lead to similar legislation in other states, or if it impacts the California economy enough, it could be enough to discourage other states from doing the same thing. Some states are more business-friendly and less likely to enact legislation. They may or may not adapt a similar ABC test. Maybe the greater impact would be in how the companies themselves are affected by this legislation. California provides a significant chunk of the market for most of these companies. If they choose to shut down in California, could that be enough to make them shut down, period? If they stay in business in California with employees and adjust their infrastructure to allow employees and adopt more efficient dispatching, it could lead them to making the switch to an employee model nationwide. So how should we respond? I would offer two major pieces of advice. Now, keep in mind, this is coming from the Entre Courier. This is not coming from me. This is his thing. I just happen to feel that it was interesting to share here. And also, guys, keep smashing that like button down below. We are halfway to the goal. Well, almost halfway. We're at 23 likes. Comment 111 if you smashed the like button, 222 if you haven't yet. Because if we get 50 likes in the next 13 minutes, we are going for an additional +5, all the way to 11:35, or technically 11:37 since I started 2 minutes late. What's up, Dawn? What's up, everybody in the chat? Jersey Man, Delivery Beast, Boss Hog. Boss Hog, I got to give you your moderator privileges. By the way, everyone, Boss Hog last night ended up donating through my PayPal, which is in the description down below. He didn't do a regular super chat, and I missed it. So he actually is a new member of the PTD Mod Squad. So if you have a blue wrench next to your name, everybody comment hashtag PTD Mod Squad down below. What's up, Walking with Caviar? Let's keep those likes coming, guys. Let's bring it up to 50 thumbs up. Let's see here. Almost done with this article, by the way, and then I'm going to pass it on to Alan Christensen. So I would offer two major pieces of advice, says Entre Courier. Watch and see. Have an exit plan. I have one thing that most people talking about this legislation leave out is that everything isn't set in stone yet. Richard Meneghello, a partner at Fisher and Phillips who focuses on the gig economy, stated in this article, "Don't expect the Senate to pass it as it currently sits. There might be some more exemptions that are built in. There's a negotiation period before the Senate would vote. There are exemptions built into the legislation for certain trade areas, and there's a possibility that some gig economy work could be included in the exemptions before it's all said and done." Megan Yellows went on to say, "That's where if I'm at a company right now where you need to be in a wait and see position because we don't really know what things are going to look like, maybe the biggest takeaway from what he had to say that I see is it's still early for any major changes to business models. If there are any changes, it will take time. We'll know more if and when the final product is passed and signed into law. Even then, I don't expect any of the companies to change immediately. They may challenge or they may be challenged, and court decisions on specific companies take time. Having said that, I would say be ready for change. As things are right now, whether due to changes in California or other places, or whether due to lawsuits, you could see the whole model change. And the biggest thing we have to ask ourselves is, what will I do when it changes? Do you want to continue to do this as an employee? Personally, if it goes that way, I'm out. I prefer the independent contractor relationship. That said, I think for a lot of drivers, an employee relationship would be a lot better, as they really aren't equipped to operate their own business or don't understand how little they might actually be making. And that's okay if that's the route they prefer to go. I prefer the independence. I chose to do this for that reason. However, I'm not going to shed tears if companies are forced to change the classification of their drivers to employees. These companies are taking advantage of drivers by putting them into business owner positions that they aren't prepared for. Excuse me. And some, cough cough, GrubHub are worse than others at controlling drivers, even though it's illegal to do so. So, on an industry-wide basis, because of the abuse of the independent contractor status, I would prefer to see it go to an employee model. If it shuts down the industry, so be it, because frankly, no industry should be allowed to exist on a model that exploits people the way this one does. For those of us who prefer the independent status, who actually thrive on owning our businesses, we have time. This should never be an end, and the beauty of the gig economy is that it gives us a taste. Start thinking of where you would like to take your independence. Start planning for other ways that you can grow that newfound entrepreneurial spirit. Maybe a change in this industry can be the kick in the pants we need for something bigger and better. It's a hell of an article, man. Did you guys enjoy that? Comment 333 if you did, 444 if you didn't. And guys, we are 20 thumbs up away from hitting the goal. We have 13 minutes left to get the additional 20 thumbs up to hit 50 likes, so we can go for an additional 5 minutes. So Alan Christensen is going to take the floor here. Alan, I need you to take it away.
Hey guys, sure Pete already read the article or will read the article in this video, so I'm not going to read from it specifically, but I'm going to talk about the potential repercussions and benefits, I guess, to it. So AB5, it's passed, and people are getting excited, but I don't like bursting people's bubbles, and I don't want to drag anybody down, but looking at all these articles, they're not automatically reclassifying drivers as employees. It's not happening. What's happening is they took the ABC test and they just made it very, very thorough and in-depth. But this means that these companies now have until January, and this bill is finalized, so it's been passed, so they have the information. They're reading it, and unfortunately what's going on behind the scenes right now as we speak is they're reading it, they're going off the checklist. How do we avoid this? Check. How do we avoid this? Check. All the way down until there is nothing. What generally ends up happening one of two things in here. Could be great. It could make it significantly harder for them to dodge the laws and get all those tax breaks and do everything horrible that they do. But on the other hand, these companies are experts at dodging laws. That's how they got into this position in the first place. They're experts at this. And you know they're going to find a way around it if they sit there and look at it in some way, shape, or form. It all depends on how long it takes, and maybe they'll see everything, maybe they won't. Maybe they will have to classify their drivers as employees and actually have to pay fair wages and give them a livable means. That would be a nice change. But I think what's more likely is they're going to dodge it, unfortunately. Like I said, the bill doesn't automatically reclassify anybody. It just makes it harder to classify contractor versus employee. And so the problem with this as well, and I hate bringing this up, but I'm going to, the more rules they put in place for this, that means the more loopholes the companies have to jump through, which means more time and money spent on jumping through these hoops, which then means that because of the excess time spent going through all of this, once they get to the bottom of it and they've reached the end and figured out they've made it through all the loopholes, or are at least in the gray area where nobody can tell, they're going to screw the drivers over even more, because they're going to want to make all of that back. Like I said, they have until January to read this. They've got 3.5 months to look this over, and this is not just one person looking it over, it's executive boards looking this over, it's fielding to other people. So, you know, it may seem like, oh, it might be too much information. Well, you got to remember, it's not one person reading this. It is multiple people reading this, and those multiple people are then discussing this. And of those multiple peoples, they all have different ideas, and they all have different answers. So combine all those answers, and they're going to come up with what they want sooner than later. I hate bringing bad news. It really sucks. And I hate that it just seems so overwhelmingly negative all the time. But I'm going to tell you every time, I'm just being real with you guys. That's all it comes down to, is I'm just being real with you. Yes, it's going to be a lot harder for them to do what they do, but they're going to find a way through it at one point or another. Present it to the public as this big amazing thing. Present it to everyone as we're so great, and then they're going to continue doing exactly what they did before it was passed. Essentially, what it seems like to me is AB5 is going to be more useless than...
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Just want to interrupt for 2 seconds. We still have 7 minutes left of the PTD Power Half Hour. If you guys would like me to go an additional 5 minutes longer tonight, I'd be more than happy to. All you got to do is smash the thumbs up button down below. We've got 34 likes. If we get 50 thumbs up, guys, we're doing an extra 5 minutes. So right down there below the video, smash that like. Everyone on the count of 3 in the chat, comment, smash that like. 1, 2, 3. Smash that like, guys. Comment 111 if you did, 222 if you didn't. And we'll be back in just a few moments. Take it away, Alan.
than helpful. In all honesty, it seems like it's going to be more useless than helpful. And it might actually, if they do all the things I've been talking about here, that means AB5 would effectively hurt more than it helped. I want people to think about that one too. Just keep that in mind. Again, take all of it with a grain of salt. It's not word for word fact. It's not, this is what's happening exactly. Yes, it is an analysis of it based on how business operates. It is an analysis based on how the government operates and how they have worded the documents and the statements that people have made from all the companies. But it's just the facts of life. But the other plus side, it scared Uber and Lyft enough to pay up $90 billion to fight it. So again, it might actually just help. And honestly, I see a lot of people talking about how they don't want their wages cut and everything, and I understand that. But my personal opinion on business, I would rather, if I'm working for someone, whether contractor or not, I would rather have a base wage floor guarantee and maybe, less money made without or throughout than be sitting here all the time wondering, how much am I going to make today? Where are they going to screw me over today? Am I going to be able to support myself? Am I going to be able to take care of my vehicle, my bills, and pay my taxes because I don't know how much I'm making? It's extremely variable. I don't like variables in these kinds of circumstances. A lot of people don't like variables in these kinds of circumstances. If I'm starting my own business solely by me and my own employer identification number, okay, I'll take the questions on that. That's worth it. But if I'm working under somebody else's employer identification number, I don't want it. I want to know where my money is coming from and where it's going. That's it. I want to know that they're being held accountable. And AB5 may seem like this crazy, groundbreaking thing, and well, it will change the industry. It could go very good or very bad. So keep on the lookout. Take it with a grain of salt. Interpret it, as accurate as you can, as logically as you can. Again, take care of each other, and we'll see what happens in the future. It's all we can do. Thanks, guys.
All right. So, another nice little monologue there from Mr. Alan Christensen. Alan, are you still here? It looks like you are. Everybody in the chat, please say thank you, Alan. ALLEN, as you see on the screen. But going forward here, guys, at the end of the day, no matter what happens with AB5, we are going to have to figure out how to adapt. It's the only thing we can do. Adapting is the only thing we can do. What's up, Donnie? Come on, baby, light my fire. That's right. What's up? Come on, man. Hey, driver sensei, what's happening? And guys, we are so close. We have 2 minutes left, guys. We are only 11 thumbs up away from going for an additional plus 5 minutes. Everybody, smash that like down below. I know I'm annoying about it, but I just want to see if we can get a few more people to engage with the video. Comment 111 if you smash that like, 222 if you haven't yet. Down below, guys. We got 2 minutes left to do it. I know we can. We can go for 40, maybe 45, up to 50, 55, because we're really going for 100. Hey, Phil, what's happening? We're going to have to stick together. Absolutely, without a doubt. Jersey Man says, no pay, no way. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Richard Longbreak says they won't comply. They're taking it to the voters. Yep. The Darwin theory of evolution, adopt or die. Yeah, it's really what it comes down to. Driver Sensei. Gig economy is coming to an end in California. What's up, Heather? Driver man, what's going on? Alan Christensen says, thank you guys. I always appreciate you listening and thinking, bringing all sides in. Absolutely, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Well, anyway, guys, we are 5 thumbs up away. We have 1 minute left. No, I don't know, Heather. If we get another 5 likes on this, looks like we're going to go for an additional +5. Oh, we just hit the end. We just hit the end, guys. We were so close. But I'll tell you what. I'll give you an extra 3. An extra 3 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Because we came really close. And I know we have a smaller audience tonight for some reason. But I'm just happy to have all of you guys here. So, Richard Longbreak, that's what a lot of people are saying, that this will be tied up in the courts. It's possible, but the articles are saying January 1st this goes into play, so I don't know. Yeah, Jersey Man too. Yeah, but you're all about the classics. I am too, though. I wish I could own one. I wish I could afford one. I wish I was a mechanic, because I don't even know how to work on those. So has anyone ever in all your videos ever let you know they didn't hit that like? I usually wait till the end of anybody's videos. A lot of people do. A lot of people do, DKH. No harm, no foul. Do you get any sleep? I do. I do, actually. Usually, as soon as we wrap up here, you know, I might have a little midnight snack and then I go to bed. Did you ever wonder if it's so bad for us, why are they fighting it so hard? Because these companies don't want to change. They don't want to change at all. And I understand why they don't want to change, because they like the flow of, they really do love the flow of money that's been coming in. But think about this, Uber lost a ton of money as well, so they have no choice. They're desperate, you know? I heard that they just started cutting off the referral rewards in Washington, D.C. You know? Yeah, I believe it, Jersey Man 42. That must have killed you to do that. But sometimes we have to do what we have to do. They can't afford to hire all drivers as employees. Exactly, Michelle. You hit the nail on the head. But also, guys, at least while we're still doing this, at least while we are still doing deliveries and all that stuff, please make sure you're at least saving money with your gas using the Get Upside app. I know I'm a pain in the neck. I know I always bring this up, but you guys always tell me how thankful and grateful you are that I put you onto the Get Upside app. Please comment 333 in the chat if you are already using this. Comment 444 if you don't know what it is or don't like it or don't have it. Link is in the description down below, also with a video explaining how it works. But to break it down simply, all you do is download the app, pump your gas at a local gas station that participates with the Get Upside app, and then all you have to do from that point is you pump your gas, print out your receipt, take a picture of the receipt with your phone in the Get Upside app, and within 48 hours they'll send you like 15 to 45 cents a gallon back, which is fantastic. And I gotta tell you, man, it's really changed people's lives, getting a little bit of extra money for their gas. So if a friend or family member signs up using your code, you'll get paid every time they pump gas. It's called Get Upside. Link is in the description. And also, please make sure to join us on our Facebook group of 2,200 members strong, the Delivery Driver Lounge. Do a quick Facebook search for the Delivery Driver Lounge, and or click the link in the description. Sign up. Comment 999 if you're on there. 101010 if you're not yet. Hey, Richard Pimentel, how you doing? Hey, Pete, you had someone else donate tonight. We did? How come I didn't see it? Why did I not see it? For some reason, I don't know who it was. Maybe that person can email me. I apologize. For some reason, it doesn't let me see all the past donations. But whoever that was, please email me. What's up, Quest? So my final thought here and my final question to everybody is, How do you think that AB5 is going to impact us as delivery contractors? How do you feel about this? What do you think is really going to happen from your perspective? Please let me know in the comment section down below. Guys, we're going for 100 likes on this video. We're already at 48. We're almost halfway there. Comment 111 if you smashed a like, 222 if you haven't yet. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at PaidToDrivePete. Seriously, guys, follow me on there, any of those, and I'll follow you back. You know, I've been good on that. I've been following everybody back. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to subscribe down below. Subscribe to the PTD Vlogs, my second channel. Links in the description. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, get that money, get that honey. Keep hustling, keep bustling. And I will see all of you guys next time right here on what channel, everybody? Paid to Drive. Everybody flood the chat saying Paid to Drive. And we'll see you next time, guys. Comment, like, share, and be happy and positive. Smash that like. Be good out there, guys. Peace.